welcome to the K-Files. Good morning, JP.
Good morning, Miss Sandra. How are you?
I'm good, and I hope you are.
I am.
JP Barnes and myself will take you through the next almost hour with the K-Files. I hope you've been watching our show. I got some new comments this week. 2 people said, I have just started watching this show. I said, where have you been? And they're new because one of them just moved here and got cable. So we're so happy. I hope you're watching this morning. But she said, this is the most interesting things. These are cases that I didn't know existed because I haven't lived here. She said, I didn't realize we had so many unsolved murders in this town.
You know, the retired chief of police down in Middlesex asked me this past week, he's like, man, I heard you were doing a TV show over in Rocky Mount. Write down where I can watch you in the morning. So I wrote down how he could find it online. So that lets you know even people in Middlesex, Southern Hennessy County, they're talking about the show.
Good. WigTV.com. Tell your friends that. If you're watching on TV and your friends say, well, I can't get that channel. Yes, you can. If you're anywhere in the world, yes, you can. WHIGTV.com. So you can watch us. JP and I like to do a hot and now to let you know about local news, and it don't always have to be a murder because this show is about crime. You see the word up there, crime. Crime Stoppers and all of that. So we will be talking about unsolved murders that are in our book in just a little bit. But this morning we have some cases that are hot and now that we want to do each week. We want to try to do a hot and now. Between January 16th and January 17th, the Rocky Mount Police Department investigated multiple larcenies and breaking and entering calls in the northwest part of the city. Listen at this now. Officers responded to a breaking and entering at Target at 11:15 at night. Well, at 11:15 at night, Target's not open, okay? So breaking and entering, they broke into the store and stole electronics. While investigating that case, officers were also responding to an alarm call at Hidden Gems Consignment Shop on Stone Rose Drive. You know where Stone Rose Drive is. At 12:24 a.m. So this is right after the Target situation. When officers arrived on scene, they located damage to the business on the Gems Consignment Shop and made contact with the owner at 12:40 a.m. While investigating this incident at the Gems Consignment Shop, they located damage to Amano's Pizza, which is next door. Pictures and videos of the suspects in their vehicle were disseminated to officers, and at 3:16 a.m., officers with the Rocky Mount Police Department located the suspect vehicle involved in the above incidents in the 600 block of Hammond Street. The 2 occupants of the vehicle were located at a residence and were identified as the individuals involved in the incident at Target. So then, the police department, and I'll go ahead and tell you who they were. The 2 parties arrested were identified as 23-year-old Tevin Hill and 26-year-old LaQuisha Avent. The 2 suspects were charged on January 17th with breaking and entering, larceny after breaking and entering, damage to property, felony conspiracy. Both parties, it was a male and a female, both parties were taken to the Nash County Jail under secured bonds. While investigators worked diligently to tie all of the incidents together, Mr. Hill posted his $12,000 bond. He's back out on the street.
That's nothing.
Just like that.
Nothing.
Nothing. Further investigation revealed that the subjects were also connected with larcenies that occurred that same day, January 16th, at Conn's Furniture at the mall, Shoe Carnival on Jeffries Road. These people, they're the gift that keep on giving.
Repeat offenders.
Yeah, just keep on. And so additional charges of 2 counts of misdemeanor larceny, attempted breaking and entering, damage to property, and felony conspiracy relating to the jewelry store, Conn's Furniture Store, Shoe Carnival, Amano's Pizza, were obtained by investigators. Miss Avent was served with her additional warrants, and she currently has a $25,000 secured bond. Mr. Hill was arrested for the additional charges on 120, which was the end of last week, by officers of the Rocky Mount Police Department and released on a $30,000 unsecured bond. He's out on the street.
Good job by law enforcement.
Yeah, it really was.
Sadly, the judicial system is not going to do
No,
anything.
no. And you know, you can't say businesses lock your doors. They broke the windows. I mean, what you gonna do about that?
They probably did $50,000 to $75,000 worth of damage. They're never going to pay restitution to the property owners.
No.
Never in a million years. You and I are going to eat that cost as we continue to do business with those businesses. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Sad, sad. Okay, and you have a hot now as well.
I do. I just saw this earlier this morning. It's right here in Rocky Mount. It says, please help identify the occupants in a vehicle that was used in a drive-by shooting. They shot over a dozen times into a home right over here on Old Barn Road in Rocky Mount. Apparently this happened last night around 8:45 p.m. If you go on Facebook to Fighting Crime News and Who's Wanted, there is actual still frame photos and video. It shows the people ride by. It shows them stop in front of the home. It shows them get out and literally pump lead through this residence.
Oh, that
right
is so
here in
scary.
downtown Rocky Mount.
What time did this happen?
Around 8:45 last night. If you
You're
go
sitting
online,
in your home.
look at this vehicle. Rocky Mount Police Department needs your help. You might can ID it. You might can see the individuals that are standing outside the vehicle. Look at the video. Again, it's on Fighting Crime News and Who's Wanted on Facebook.
Unbelievable.
It is. That's brazen. I mean, they're in a residential neighborhood. There's lights on everywhere. At 8:45, they're standing outside their vehicle. It looks like they have a long gun, but I can't really tell.
Wow.
And just pumping lead.
And that's what we're saying about cameras. That is why you need cameras, because they couldn't have got these pictures if it were not for somebody's cameras.
And this is a nice area. This is look. This is $200,000-$300,000 homes in the background.
Yeah, I don't know if it was targeted. I don't know if it was random. I don't know, but it's terrible to have someone shooting into your home at 8 o'clock at night. It's just scary, scary stuff.
And look, talking about the judicial system, I don't know what's happened. My sources at the sheriff's office are tight-lipped. My sources at the courthouse are tight-lipped. They declared a mistrial yesterday in the shooting of William Toney,
They did.
the deputy sheriff who was shot. I mean, I'm not hearing any rumors of any kind.
It was one juror. One juror couldn't do it.
And this
That's
man,
all it takes is one.
this suspect testified against himself in federal court and said, "I shot him." Who does not dispute doing it, and they have a hung jury.
Yeah. One juror could not do it. So, anyway, you know, you shoot it's the shooting of William Toney, as you said. There was a female deputy, and William Toney came up on the scene to assist, and he ended up getting shot, and he's hurt. I mean, he will not be able to work anymore, I don't think, and he is injured. He has problems every day. So, and this guy is just, you know, but he will be serving time federally.
He got 10 years.
10 years, 10 years is all. That's it.
And you look at the chaos and the carnage going on in Atlanta, Georgia, where a state trooper was shot. Those around the trooper who got shot returned fire. They killed the suspect. And there's rioting and carnage in the streets, people tearing up businesses, riots. And I mean, if there's ever been a case of justified shooting, it's that. And you have people coming out of the woodwork to protest the use of deadly force by law enforcement. And the trooper was shot.
Right. And look at the case in Robeson County. Oh, wow. This guy was in prison and got out for murder. For murder. Got out on good behavior. They said they looked at his record, good behavior. He gets out, an argument over money. He shoots his relatives. I forgot what relation they were, but shoots 2 of his relatives and his best friend.
You know, we need to really visit the judicial system across the United States. I believe in forgiveness. I believe in, giving somebody a second chance. I do believe in that, but, going to prison, or even the death penalty for that, it's a punishment.
Right.
It is a punishment. And I think a lot of times politics comes into play and people lose sight of the purpose behind prison, the purpose behind, the death penalty in some cases. It's a punishment.
And to me, I believe, this is just my belief, if you've committed murder, you don't get out. You've took a life that someone, a family member, can never get their loved one back. Never get them back. So why don't you have to stay in prison? If you've committed murder, you don't get out. I'm sorry, but that's just my whole thing.
A lot of people who get caught up in committing murders and things like that, they have a violent criminal history.
Yes.
That somebody should have identified and flagged before it gets to the point where they're, committing multiple murders.
Right.
And again, I think the judicial system just kind of sort of drops the ball.
I think so. I really think so. That's why we've got to have the DA on. Jeff Marsigli is our new DA. We were giving him a little time to get his feet wet, but and I'm sure they're pretty wet by now.
Oh, I'm sure.
In this community. But anyway, we want to have him on in the future. We're going to have the police chief on. We're really excited. He's confirmed. He said, let's get together on a date. Talking to him today. So we'll talk to him coming up. So anyway, it's time to go to break already.
Wow.
We're going to come back and do some cases in the book. How about that?
Get ready. The Zuzu African Acrobats are coming to the Kaheen Auditorium at Edgecombe Community College Saturday, February 11th. This interactive show exhibits human pyramids, dish spinning, stick balance, unicycling, juggling, as well as comedy. The Zuzu African Acrobats are an enlightening experience truly representative of coastal Tanzania. Great for all ages. Bring the kids and grandkids. Saturday, February 11th, 4 p.m. Adult tickets $25, students $10. Get your tickets online at edgecombe.edu or by calling the box office. Sal's Pizza, an Italian night out. Taste pizza fresh from the oven. Delicious Italian dishes made from fresh ingredients with savory sauces and textures that envelop the taste buds, satisfying with every bite. You won't leave Sal's Pizza hungry.
Best pizza in town, bar none. Love it. It's authentic. It's good stuff.
This is over the top. Sal's probably has the best pizza I've ever tasted.
If you want a dine-in authentic place to eat gourmet Italian cuisine, come to Sal's Pizza, home of a local secret, the Grandma Pizza, famous for its authentic taste. For the finest, most delicious dishes, this is the place. 2820 Sunset Avenue, Rocky Mount. Ask about Sal's Pizza catering your special events.
Promise you, the freshest ingredient in the market.
Did you get engaged over the Christmas holidays? Congratulations! The next big step is choosing your venue. Smith's Pavilion of Dorches is a premium wedding venue that includes a ceremony site, bandstand, indoor and outdoor reception area. Their newest additions are a bridal suite and groom's room. They also have an in-house chef to meet your culinary needs. Most importantly, you get the Smith's team of experts to turn your vision into your real-life dream wedding. Smith's Pavilion of Dorches, where we celebrate life's greatest events.
Why buy from Don Bullock Chevrolet? What we do it better for you, like the Lifetime Care Promise. Just drive into our service department and we'll top off your fluids and oil and check your tire pressure, all while you remain in your car. And in less than 5 minutes. Plus, it's free. Don Bullock Chevrolet is a full-service dealership with service, parts, and collision department. Let our knowledgeable and friendly staff help you. On-site, third generation owned and operated for 105 years. Don Bullock Chevrolet.
The tank is on E, and your low tire pressure light is glaring at you again. You do not have time to wait in line and pay to put air in the tires, and you certainly don't want to get out of the car in the cold and pump gas. What if you could pull up to a gas pump and have an attendant run out to greet you to pump your gas, clean your windshield, and put air in the tire, all for no extra charge, while you step inside and enjoy a made-to-order breakfast or lunch? Does that kind of full service exist anymore? It does at JD's Grocery and Grill, a service station created to bring back the full service experience to all customers. JD's Grocery and Grill is a full service gas station. Eat in restaurant with tasty made-to-order food and a grocery store all in one. The staff at JD's Grocery and Grill is ready to field all requests and will help you find anything you need. Call them today at 252-972-5000 or stop on by at 1240 Atlantic Avenue. Store hours Monday through Saturday 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Grill hours Monday through Saturday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. JD's Grill and Grocery, at the heart of great food.
Okay, well, we will do our job here, and our job is to get out the names of unsolved murders or missing persons. That's included as well. And we hope, JP said he saw it this morning, we hope you see our billboard out in front of the mall. Look at it, get information off of it, get it off this TV, whatever you've got to do to call. 406-6736 hotline, or either Twin County Crime Stoppers anytime, 977-1111. It's a very easy number to remember. $15,000 is at stake. You could get up to $15,000 cash money, folks, if you turn somebody in. And we won't even know who you are. So what is better than that? And you get it off your conscience. How about your conscience? So anyway, let's get started, JP.
Okay, one of the first cases we're going to be talking about today is the case of Stephen Frederick McCray. We've talked about this case a few times. It's from January 3rd, 2020. Stephen Frederick McCray, 63 years old, and is also known as Steve. He is a white male with brown, gray hair, blue eyes, approximately 5'6", and weighs 145 pounds. He has a staggering walk and also suffers from dementia. He was last seen wearing a white and gray t-shirt, blue jeans, white shoes with tape on them, a dark colored coat, and a hat. He does frequent the areas of Princeville, Tarboro, and South Rocky Mount. He was last seen on January 3rd, 2020, around 4:00 p.m. at 767 Robertson School Road in Tarboro. Earlier in the day, on January 3rd, 2020, a friend went by to check on McCray and was going to take him to pay a few bills, but he decided not to go. Later that day, he contacted his mother and told her he was not feeling well. That was the last time anyone has seen or heard anything from him. His son reported him missing a few days later. There are suspicious circumstances around his disappearance. Overnight on January 3rd to the morning of January 4th, it was 59 degrees and rainy out, with rain sometimes heavy and gusty winds. It just doesn't make sense for someone to walk away willingly from their home with nothing on but the clothes of their back in January and in the rain. What is even more suspicious is that Stephen McCray's debit card has been used multiple times after he was reported missing. On January 28, just 25 days after his disappearance, one of his daughters, Brittany Nancy Lee McCray of 174 Otis Lane in Rocky Mount, was charged with identity theft and financial card fraud and 2 counts of obtaining property by false pretenses after she used his card to withdraw funds from his account just days after he was reported missing. Twice she withdrew $500 from his card at an ATM machine. She was placed into Edgecombe County Jail and given a $50,000 bond that was later reduced to $10,000. The charges were ultimately dismissed for the time being, as there was no victim that was able to testify since Mr. McCray was missing. Some undisclosed items from his residence are also missing. Fighting Crime has reached out to Brittany, and she also refuses to tell her side of the story.
There we go. His daughter used his debit card. Mighty suspicious, and from what I understand from law enforcement, when they came one time, she has a boyfriend. And I think they think that her and her boyfriend might have had some. As a matter of fact, they locked Brittany up, and they had to let her out because of lack of the evidence. They just couldn't get enough evidence.
Well, now I would agree with the narrative here. It's cold out, it's rainy, it's January. This man didn't go for a walk.
He's not going to take off walking. Who does that in the pouring down rain?
It didn't happen.
No, that did not happen. So she was placed in Edgecombe County Jail and given a $50,000 bond, later reduced to $10,000. Of course, she got out. Charges dismissed. There's no victim. I mean, how many times have we heard, if they don't find the body, what can they do?
It's hard to get a conviction for murder.
There's your evidence. The body is the evidence, and it's just not there. That is sad. I don't know whoever did this, I don't know what they did with Mr. McCray, but somebody did something. That's for sure. And he is a missing person at this time. So if anybody knows anything, as we have said so many times, JP, people talk.
They do. All it's going to take, and not just in this case, all it's going to take is a boyfriend and a girlfriend to get mad at each other, break up. One of them's going to pick the phone up and drop a dime on the other one. It's going to happen. It might be a year, it might be 5, it might be 10. Similar situation is how they found the body up in Franklin County not too long ago, or the edge of Franklin County.
Exactly. I mean, they might have told one of their friends.
That's right.
So somebody knows something. So what's it worth to you to tell?
Get paid.
Absolutely.
Get it off your conscience.
Exactly. So anyway, we hope somebody will come forward in this case, because this case bothers me. It really does. A man with dementia, 63 years old at the time, so now he would be about 66, and can't do that much for himself. Just gone. Gone. Missing. So anyway, all right, we'll move on to the next case. You want to do another case we have talked about quite a bit.
Tammy Grady. This case is from November 28th, 2019. Tammy Grady was reported missing by her family. Her date of disappearance is listed as November 28th, 2019. However, Tammy had not been in contact with family for a week prior to that. It is possible that she went missing before the 28th of November. Her sister, Christy Ruffin, had last spoken to Tammy by phone on November 23rd, 2019 at around 11 o'clock p.m. Tammy has not contacted anyone in her family since that time, namely her sister Christy or her younger brother Horace, who she maintained almost daily contact with. There have been no transactions on her EBT card since November 23rd, 2019, nor has there been any activity on Tammy's social media, which is unusual as Facebook had been one of Tammy's primary ways of communication. Tammy was using the cell phone of Darius Santos, who she had recently started staying with, at 806 Elvie Street South in Wilson. Santos advised shortly after midnight, Tammy left with Patrick Highsmith to go to a local hotel, the Heart of Wilson, located at 501 Nash Street West in Wilson, North Carolina. Neither of these men have been named as a suspect at this point. Tammy's sister, Christy Ruffin, has been begging for answers in her sister's disappearance. She has accepted that Tammy may have been hurt, but just wants to know where she is so she can be at peace. There have been tips on her disappearance, and the Wilson Police Department is working on those tips. Grady is 5'4". She weighs around 120 pounds, has brown hair, and blue eyes.
And the word is that a cab picked her up. There she is right there. Good job, guys. She was picked up by a cab and taken to a party. And has not been seen since. They questioned the cab driver. He would never, and I've said this, there's no way that cab driver does not remember where he dropped her off.
Yeah, he was not real cooperative or forthcoming.
Not forthcoming with anything. And there's just no way he doesn't remember where he dropped her off. And he kept saying, I don't remember.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't he since passed away?
He passed away since then.
Yeah.
So, and he was a key element to that case, and he has passed away. So, anyway, and there's more to this case. I think there are more details that we can release on this case. I'm gonna try to look them up on Fighting Crime. I think she had a little bit more details about the party that the police have come up with. So we can look that up on the break. But anyway, we need to take our break, come right back. We'll talk a little bit more about Tammy Grady.
Make any day special by coming into Ribeye Steakhouse in Nashville. Come on in and enjoy our legendary tender and juicy Omaha Angus ribeyes. And try and share our seafood entrees, your choice of shrimp, flounder, or oysters. And especially don't forget our famous salad bar with all your favorite fixins. If you want to give that someone special something to revel in, Ribeye's gift certificates can be made to order. And as you're looking for somewhere to host a business meeting or special event, you can reserve the Angus Room. Ribeye Steakhouse of Nashville, over 10 years of great food.
Stone Park Child Care is looking for qualified applicants who love children to join their child care team and shape the lives of tomorrow. Applicants must be at least 18 years or older, must have a high school diploma or equivalent, but the most important qualification is love for children. This job can be a lot of fun, and all it takes is enjoying planning and playing with our children. Join our family today. Apply in person at either location, 513 Old Mill Road or 1261 South Winstead Avenue. For any questions, call Anissa at 252-937-8851.
I'm Daniel Moss, owner of Cornerstone Funeral Home, and I'd like to invite you and your family to give our family an opportunity to serve you in your time of need. And we offer a full line of funeral services, everything from visitations to graveside services to cremations on site with a live crematory, as well as a banquet hall to meet the catering needs of our families that we serve. We offer catering service. We offer refreshments prior to visitations and services of our family. And we want to invite you to come and experience the difference here at Cornerstone Funeral Home.
What is the Davis Furniture difference? The difference is we buy with you in mind. For generations, we have listened to our customers. We can help you find the look you want for every room in your house. Quality, style, color, and of course service. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Davis Furniture, the family business where we treat you like family. Let us help you make your house a home. Davis Furniture, historical downtown Rocky Mount, on the corner of Hill and Main.
Okay, welcome back. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about Tammy Grady, a little bit more in depth. JP, you can read
Yeah, and
the description of the clothes is pretty...
For folks that are following along at home, a lot of what's in this book, you can find it on Fighting Crime News and Who's Wanted on Facebook. This particular case here, they've got a few more details than what we had available at the time of printing. Just like this Patrick H., just not a suspect, not a person of interest. He just happens to be somebody who was in her presence before she disappeared. He's been in and out of the court system for many years. He's currently got multiple court cases pending, mostly for like habitual larceny, things like that. His past includes firearm charges, drug, larceny, breaking and entering, things like that. Patrick is the last person she was seen leaving with. There were also reports that she may have been seen in Kenley before her disappearance. She was last seen wearing a burgundy hooded sweatshirt, coat with a white design across the chest and down the sleeves, yellow leggings, and black shoes, carrying a black duffel bag with a shoulder strap. And they have lots of photos, some of which is, the description of what she was last seen wearing. Again, there is a reward of up to $15,000 for the information that leads to the location of Tammy. I know this family is continuously on pins and needles. They want closure, they want justice, and it's like they said earlier, they just want the peace of knowing where Tammy is.
Absolutely. Closure is the word. We talk about that, JP, over and over and over. That's one of the reasons we do this show. We want to give closure to families. Imagine how it is to have a missing person and you don't know where they are. You wonder every night when you go to sleep, get ready to go to sleep, are they out there somewhere?
Yeah.
Where are they? Will I ever know? And it just tugs at the heartstrings. It really does. I just cannot imagine what it's like. But anyway, yeah, the last person to see her, and we need to talk to the police department to get a little clarity, because this Patrick Highsmith, Patrick H., but his name is Patrick Highsmith, she left with him to go to the Heart of Wilson. But she did leave the Heart of Wilson in a cab. I mean, Linda Kay talked about that so many times. They talked to the cab driver. Cab driver would not own up to anything. Next thing we know, a year or so later, cab driver is deceased. Don't know how he died. I don't know if he had a medical issue. I don't know what problem was. But anyway, he's gone. And so there goes one of the key people that they hoped would be a witness. And one of the philosophies that somebody had, one of the speculations, I will call it a speculation because we don't know, but one of the speculations somebody had was that somebody at the party summons the cab to get her.
Gotcha.
So that could be a reason why he wasn't talking, because he might have been on the other end.
He didn't want to get involved.
Yeah, did not. So
think
anyway,
about it. I mean, if you could play a key role in helping bring her home, or bring justice, and you didn't have a dog in the fight,
right?
Why wouldn't you?
And I think they suspect, the family, it says, they suspect now that she has been hurt in some way, the family. But they want to know. They want answers.
Yeah.
Of course they do. They don't want to just let it go.
Yeah, I can't imagine waking up tomorrow morning and, unbeknown at the time, see my son for the last time.
Yeah.
My wife for the last time, a brother or sister for the last. not knowing that they would never come home.
No.
Just disappear off the face of the earth. So many unanswered questions, especially if we learned there could have been some shady circumstances involved.
Absolutely.
I cannot imagine that.
And you know, these families say, we talked about this last week, Christy Ruffin said, we spoke to her daily. Her and her brother, Christy and her brother, spoke to Tammy. All of a sudden, Tammy never calls you again. Tammy's EBT card, not used since that day, November 23rd, 2019.
That's how you know something bad's happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they've got to have food. I think EBT is that a food stamp card?
I think so.
Yeah. So, you know they've got to have food, so they're going to be using the EBT card.
Yeah.
Never used since November. So, anyway, I don't think it's a good outcome in this case, but I wish they could solve it. I really wish the Wilson Police Department could solve this case, and they want to solve it. They do. So, anyway, if you know anything, it'll be anonymous. Nobody will know. Please call one of those numbers right here, 406-6736 or 977-1111. They'll get it to the right place. Or call the Wilson Police Department.
And get paid up to $15,000.
Yeah. I mean, it's cash. There's no form to fill out, and there's no process you got to apply to get it. There's none of that. If your tip leads to the arrest of somebody, in this case, you're going to get paid cash within 48 hours. So, anyway, we certainly hope somebody will come through on that case, because I'm really wanting that case to be solved along with every other one we talk about. We hadn't done. We've got a few minutes, so we'll do Lacey Bunch.
Lacey Bunch. This case is from December 20th, 2020. Around 6:30 a.m. on December 20th, 2020, 72-year-old Lacey Bunch disappeared from his residence on Bell Street in Enfield. Family members state they heard Bunch leave the residence around 6:30 a.m. that morning. They soon realized that he was missing when his shoes were left behind. It was 36 and Lacey left without shoes and only had the clothes on his back. Halifax County Sheriff's Office has conducted multiple searches and have come up empty-handed.
It's little things like that, like we said in Stephen McRae's case. Pouring down rain, 36 degrees, and you're going to go out with no shoes on.
He had to know somebody was outside waiting to pick him up. There's no other reason. You wouldn't even go to the mailbox. You wouldn't go on the rent.
No.
And at 36 degrees outside and you not have your shoes on.
No.
He went outside to meet somebody.
Yes.
And his intentions were, I'm only going to be out there for a quick second.
But you 36 degrees and you don't put your shoes on, even to do that?
Or he was helped out of the house.
He was what now?
Helped. Because, see, they don't say that they saw him leave. They don't say that, they said they heard him.
Right.
What if he was carried out?
Right.
You know?
Heard Bunch leave the residence around 6:30 a.m. that morning.
Yeah.
So family members state, so was he living in the house with them?
That's what it sounds like.
And at 6:30 in the morning, they realized he was missing when his shoes were left behind. 36 degrees.
So almost instantly, they say they heard him leave at 6:30, and at 6:30 they realized he was missing. It's almost instantaneously.
Right. Only had the clothes on his back. Okay.
That's interesting.
Very interesting case. Wish we had more detail. We might have to talk with Halifax County and see if we can get a little bit more detail on that, or see if they've gotten more details since this that they might could release. That's just a very interesting case. Okay, well, we will, anonymous tip line 406-6736. If you want one of these books, I still had somebody come by the other day to ask for one of these books, so still asking for them. We will have some new books coming out. We're going to be doing our fundraiser. I believe it's the end of, is it April or May? We've decided on, but anyway, it's coming up. We'll be informing you more about that. And folks, please know that it costs money for us to put this on the billboard. We want to put this everywhere. We want to solve cases. So it costs money to do the things that we're trying to do with Teen Cold Case, to get the word out and solve cases. So I hope you'll participate in our fundraiser. Consider that. We'll let you know when it is, what we're doing. It's always a good event. We need to replenish the pot a little bit because, and we want to pay out. We want to pay. I mean, we want to give our money out for tips. We're more than happy to do that if you call. So anyway, we will have a fundraiser. We'll be talking about it a little bit more. Go by and see the billboard in front of the mall. This is what we're doing with our money. We put these books out all over town. People come and get them, read about these. It might strike a chord with somebody. Somebody might say, oh, yeah.
The smallest tip. The smallest tip solves cases.
Thing. I mean, like Lacey Bunch. If anybody had been in that area, 6:30 in the morning, people are going to work.
Somebody messaged me this past week about a case that we talked about last week, saying, hey, will you share with the sheriff? I don't want to get involved, but will you reach out to the sheriff's department and tell them I saw that guy before he went missing walk in the woods in front of my house on Southern Ash High Road. They had caught a glimpse of the episode online and reached out to me and said, will you do that? I don't want to get involved. I said, you got it.
Yeah, we'll do whatever we have to do. If you want to call us, if you know us, call somebody, because we need to solve cases. We really do need to solve these cases, get them off the books. I'm always glad when I hear that one has been taken off, when they call and say, don't talk about that one anymore because it's solved. Nothing would please me more. So this is Nash, Edgecombe, Wilson, Halifax counties that we try to work on, but if you know of anything in another county that we're not covering, we'll do it. We'll put the word out, because as Keystone has said many times, criminals travel.
They do.
They travel. And somebody in our area might have seen the person you are looking for. So we'll be glad to do that. So anyway, that's all for now. Thank you, JP.
Thank you for having me, Miss Sandra.
Absolutely. And we'll be back next week with more of the K-Files. Make it a great day, everybody.